Peace be upon you, dear viewers. We're back with a new review of the Viture glasses. Let's start this episode by seeking God's help and see how this goes. We've talked about the Viture glasses in several episodes before. Now, just to be clear, I'm not getting anything from the company, and this isn't an advertisement for them in general. I've tried the X-Real glasses, these ones, and there are others like the Rokid, I think that's the name, and many other brands. Even TV companies like TCL have their own versions, as do other companies. But what sets these glasses apart is the neckband. Others have something similar, especially X-Real, which introduced the idea of a connected device running Android with the glasses, but they did it in the worst way possible, a strip, kind of like a battery, similar to the Vision Pro and Galaxy XR. But these glasses introduced a neckband, and it's honestly one of the nicest and most clever solutions out there. Honestly, I've long suggested, or tried to suggest to Apple, that they should make something like this, glasses connected to a neckband. That idea came to me when neckbands first appeared, not that I'm some genius, but when these kinds of things started coming out, they were only used for headphones. And I imagined that they would make a computer, since they were moving towards making chips smaller and smaller, especially with their capabilities in devices like the iPad mini and others. So I expected that they would put one of their chips or something similar right here. That way, they would have an amazing pair of glasses connected to a computer. It connects to the phone and to another computer and so on. But of course, it became clear to me that Apple either doesn't have, or rather they block the possibility of suggestions because they don't want any issues between you and them regarding patenting or intellectual property rights. So they don't want suggestions from anyone. They have their own ideas and develop things on their own. But thankfully, we found a company that does this. This company has provided this solution, and it's a great solution. True, as we'll see shortly in the benchmarks, the computer here isn't powerful. The computer's capabilities are very weak in terms of graphics, as well as other aspects. But it works like a mid-range Android tablet. Not advanced, but not at zero either. They call it Pro, and the Neckband Pro, saying it's been improved and so on. They've upgraded the storage and the RAM, but the main CPU isn't that powerful. Still, it can run many of the things we find on the Galaxy XR and the Vision Pro. So, dear viewers, with this simple experiment, just like this right here, with a keyboard or an Xbox controller or any other controller, or even your own phone, you can use it as a remote to control this device. As for hand control, I wasn't able to record it. There's an issue, meaning that when you activate 3D, the recording comes out empty, or it gets mixed up, or some problems occur. So currently, there is no 3D recording, but you can control it using your hands. The cameras track your hand and allow you to control it. They map your hand as a set of points for now. I mean, the situation is really primitive, but at least there is some hand control. Of course, it's not as good as the Vision Pro or the Galaxy XR or the Quest, obviously. The quality here is much lower, but it's a start. Now let's look at our personal lives and how I made a video for them about drinking tea, which was the most fun with it. But you can also do your daily tasks using these glasses. You can listen, watch videos, follow social media, and so on, all while wearing these glasses. And practically, they don't really harm your eyes like other glasses because these are more like projectors, similar to Meta glasses. It's not a direct beam coming straight into your eyes, like a screen or a TV placed right in front of you, projecting light directly. Instead, it's reflected light, so things are much gentler. Now, for example, someone doing regular household chores might find themselves wanting to entertain themselves, so they play a YouTube video or something. Notice now, I can jog while watching a video, record at the same time, and do everything. It's amazing. You can't really get this experience with, well, maybe with other devices, but not as easily and definitely not as smoothly. So these glasses really let you do some pretty cool things. And now let's try out some games to see the capabilities of these glasses in running games directly from the neckband, not through the computer. We'll look at that in a bit. Honestly, 2D games work excellently with these. But you can even do streaming through the computer. And it works fantastic for most people. So you have a really huge screen in front of you. Of course, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is something shared with the X-Rail, the Rocket, and other companies and other models. And now, dear viewers, let's move on to the next part of our exploration, which involves actually trying out some of the various apps I mentioned to you earlier, so we can see together how they function and perform on this particular device, as well as what you might need in order to run them smoothly and efficiently. As you can see on the screen, there are a significant number of Android applications available here. ChatGPT is available for use, Gemini is also available, and all these different apps and programs are present and ready to be explored. This is a test of the well-known and widely used video editing application, CapCut. You'll notice that the app works overall, not the fastest experience you might have, but also not too bad or unusable. You can play some video clips, add a variety of effects and similar things, and you can also run important effects as well. In addition, you can easily create documents, either through the Microsoft Office suite of apps specifically designed for mobile devices, or even by using Google's own apps, which are numerous, versatile, and free to use. Here's an example. Google Docs. With Google Docs, you can create documents, save them directly to the cloud for easy access, and share them with your other apps and devices as well, making collaboration and productivity much more convenient. Now let's move on to a very important test, which is connecting it to the computer via Steam Link or other similar tools, and see how this experience goes. The method is very simple. First, you need to have Steam running on your computer and also run Steam here. You do streaming through Steam Link. It's a straightforward process. Then if you want to play games or use Power Minimize theme, you can do that. Now you can go ahead and work on Adobe PHO, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere. Of course, I control this from the computer and with Viture, just with the press of a button here. So notice that the latency is incredible. Let me show you now. This is the computer mouse, and this is the Viture mouse. Do you see the difference? Did you notice any difference? Premiere is running, thank God, and the real-time preview is all clear and visible. Just as I see it, you see it too. I use this same method with the Vision Pro and with the Quest. Of course, the Quest has its own app, which is even better, but in general, you can use the same method with the Vision Pro, the Quest, and the Galaxy XR, because Steam Link is available on Android. As you can see, this is completely unmodified. And now, my friends, let's take a moment to try out the artificial intelligence technology that's currently available right here. Not in the headset itself, because the headset doesn't actually have this capability built in, but rather it's present in the device, and that's the reason why you are able to see it in action. This particular AI system is, for the most part, largely based on advanced algorithms and machine learning techniques that have been developed over time. Let's take a quick look at how a conversation with it might go. Hey, Resort.
Tell me about the problems and advantages of the Galaxy XR. The new phone. It is loved for its consistently impressive design and continuous innovation, making it important for maintaining a high standard. It features a remarkable resolution ranging from 3,552 to 3,840 pixels, offering its own perspectives and sharing them. Additionally, it supports open tools and excellent video capabilities, improving the user experience year after year. However, users have pointed out some details. It is possible to achieve the impossible independently, and you can identify the issue when you move your head as it affects the main key. Battery life is also affected by some applications, and it can be customized by users. In the end, the price can be quite high, which may not be beneficial for some users. For example, the Galaxy XR remains useful and advanced in VR.
Now let's move on to trying out some videos through YouTube and other media to see how it plays videos and what its capabilities are. One of the most important features is the presence of Netflix, as well as other browsing apps. This is an area where it even outperforms the Vision Pro, because that device doesn't have a dedicated Netflix app. But here, you can watch all movies and content natively, not just within a browser. So for those who say that the Vision Pro can't run Netflix, that's incorrect, because it does run Netflix and YouTube, but only within the browser. Of course, we can't play the videos shown here because all of them are copyrighted, which could affect the availability of the video or even the channel itself. But I will try out YouTube for you, and this is our channel on YouTube. The videos are also available in high resolution. Let's try one of them. This is one of the videos, and as you can see, it works well and smoothly. Of course, this is similar to the concept of HoloLens and Magic Leap in that you are looking at actual reality. It's not through a screen, meaning it's not a camera showing you your surroundings, and it transmits it to screens in front of your eyes, but it's transparent, direct, and in a wonderful, amazing, and lightweight way. That's why I'm surprised Microsoft hasn't done this as well. This is much better than the HoloLens. The HoloLens used to put a lot of weight, first the original version, on your forehead. Secondly, even the Quest Pro is said to be, in one way or another, inspired by the HoloLens 2. But no, the HoloLens 2 is very different, and its technology is very different. The main shape might be similar, but the technology is different. The important thing is the HoloLens 2 was also heavier than this. If they could make something like this, maybe they'd have other and better customers. Most of these glasses are based on miniature screens made by Sony, and some of them also have their own special chip like the X-Real, which is built into the glasses so it can stabilize the screen, and you don't need to move it with your head wherever you look. That means it has 6 degrees of freedom, 6 DOF, so it becomes like the headsets for virtual reality and augmented reality. But these are 3 DOF, meaning the screen stays fixed or moves with you wherever you go with the neckband. Now, because of the computer here and similar things, they have a chip here for sure, and through the Spacewalker, it stabilizes the screen for you. So, as I mentioned, this is not an ad for Viture or the company itself, nor even for this whole category of glasses. But at a price point where glasses cost $300 or $400 for the older version, you don't need the latest version. And these also cost $300 or $600. You get results that are available in $1,800 glasses at best, meaning at the price of the Quest. Honestly, can you go outside and walk around with them like this? It's possible, but it's a bit difficult because this area is covered. You need to lift them up to see everything clearly. They also work as excellent sunglasses, even better than Meta. There are some accessories for each pair of glasses that you can attach from the back to secure them, which makes things really nice. So I wouldn't recommend going out with them, but it's not impossible. I even tried driving a car with them. It's possible, but as I mentioned, you need to lift them up, or when talking to people, you have to look at them from above. The look isn't really suitable, to be honest. For movies, programs, and so on, they work well, but they're not as good as the Vision Pro, the Galaxy XR, or even the Meta Quest, because the quality comes first. Even so, you feel there's some stuttering in the display. It's not 100%, but it's an acceptable experience. In all of these, it's an acceptable experience. It's a step in the right direction. But for those who want to get past some of these flaws, it's much better, especially in terms of price. This set costs around $600. There's another type with double the memory and double the internal SSD size, so it becomes about 256 gigabytes with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and that one is $400. $400 depending on the type you get. The Pro version costs about $500, which is around the price of the Meta or a little cheaper, and you get great features. So you get a really nice experience at a very reasonable price. The competition here isn't with the Meta Quest because honestly, it surpasses it. It has AI, the wizard is built on ChatGPT, and it has all Android apps, not just some. You can download alternative apps for WhatsApp and other messaging apps. You can download Facebook, all these things, making it a complete solution, just like InMo Air 3 is now being marketed. It has all these apps built into the glasses because it's based on full Android and works with both eyes. Thank you, both eyes. But that one has a much smaller field of view than this. This one, if you want to see it, you have to move it all around. It's wider than your field of view in the glasses, almost reaching the edges of the glasses, so this experience is better than InMo Air. This set is better than even the glasses that are coming. For sure, there will be competitors to InMo Air, and they'll be similar, but the field of view is always very small. I think the future is for these, but Apple needs to decide to go in this direction and have an Apple TV connected or another chipset connected to these glasses or to another Apple glasses. You could do a lot of things. Even the digital assistant experience, as you saw, was present and very successful. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, share it with your loved ones and friends, and like the video to help us spread it. Goodbye. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.